Hi, welcome to Yoga.tv. I'm Lauren Rogali, and we're here in this beautiful private backyard, really surrounded by peace. And that's my intention for this class today, is to cultivate peace, or to have a practice in which we're working towards that feeling. And I'm inspired recently by a quote that says, "When we own our breath, nobody can steal our peace." And unfortunately, we don't know the author to that quote, but that sense of ownership over our body and over sort of the choices we have, I find is really where we create or hone in on our innate power. And I'd like you to be aware of your breath today. We will be working with some breath technique and doing particular postures to help settle us, to help pull us into the moment. And so as much as you can, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of your body, and tune in moment to everything that is arising as we practice together. With that being said, please start in a comfortable seated position. And I'm sitting here on a rolled up blanket underneath my hips, and you can do the same, or even a thick towel, or cushions off of your couch, or if you have more traditional foam blocks or a zefu, then you can sit on that as well. I'm sitting cross-legged. If you always sit in one position with your cross-legged and your more dominant leg, then I'll encourage you to change it up and sit in your more non-dominant way. We're going to start today with a breath technique, a pranayama technique called Kapalabhati. And the intention with Kapalabhati is it is very cleansing. It helps us connect to our stomach, sort of the Agni fire, the fire of digestion. And it also is this energy that lifts us up, that moves us into our head and creates this sort of ethereal spaciousness within us. So we're going to start with this. I'll show you what it looks like first, and then I'll encourage you to chime in or join in once you've seen a few reps. I like it when you place your hand on your belly, as I'll be doing here, so that we can feel our belly and actually feel the pumping that is creating. The inhale is meant to be more passive, whereas the breath comes naturally into the belly will naturally expand. And the exhale is where our attention lies. So the emphasis is on pulling your belly back towards your spine as you exhale, creating a pumping with the belly. So it looks like this. And you have to let go a little bit of your inhibitions here and just let your belly push out and draw in at the same time. Please don't go too fast, and be mindful to keep your jaw relaxed. All right, let's begin. We'll do about 30 reps together. So place one hand on your belly. Take a cleansing breath to begin. Inhale through your nose. Big audible exhale. I'm going to close my eyes, and you're welcome to do so. Inhale to expand through your belly, and begin as you exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the technique. Sit for a moment, truly feeling the after effects of that practice. It's common to feel a bit lightheaded, like I said, sort of that ethereal, sort of uplifting sensation. And we'll do one more set of Kapalabhati. So take your other hand onto your belly, again, just helping create some symmetry in the body. Begin with a cleansing breath. Inhale through your nose. Big exhale. Then as you inhale, expand through your belly. And begin as you exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the technique. Sit and feel. Keep your eyes closed and your awareness open. And start to walk your hands forward in front of you. Keep your bum heavy on the block in which you're sitting on or the floor beneath you. Stretch your arms out straight. Push your palms down into the ground. Keep the undersides of your arms lifted and then release your forehead down towards the ground. Now use the floor as leverage. Push your hands down and forward to sink your bum back towards the floor behind you. You may find with a few breaths that you can stretch the arms out a little further forward. Sink a little deeper. As you inhale, lift your head and walk your hands back towards you and simply change the crossing of your legs. So bring your other leg in front. Again, nestle back into your hips so your sit bones are heavy and reach your hands out in front of you. Once you find the optimal distance, push your hands into the floor to send your weight back into your hips. So the hips come closer to the mat. And of course, release your head to the ground. As best as you can, don't collapse in the armpits. Keep the armpits lifting up until you feel your shoulder blades come closer together on your back. And press into the floor with your hands as you inhale, lift your head up and start to walk back. This time if you're sitting on a prop, just move your prop to the side of your mat or to the back edge of your mat and take your feet out in front of you. We're going to come into one of my favorite postures actually. It's quite simple but very powerful. It's called reverse tabletop. So place your feet on the floor so they're about inner hips distance apart and pointing straight ahead. And then take your hands back behind you and we'll start in just an easier position to begin with the hands by turning your fingers to either side to the long edges of your mat. Push firmly down into your hands and feet and to begin, circle your shoulder blades together until your chest puffs up. Keep your gaze straight ahead, about eye level. Continue to root down into your hands and feet, and as you inhale, lift your hips up, about as high as they'll go. As if you were holding a grapefruit between your chin and your chest, keep your chin drawing in that area and then extend to the back of your neck. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, continue to push down through your hands, and now lift your right hip up higher, and then keep that and now lift your left hip to meet your right. Lift to the crown of your head and take a big breath in. And as you exhale, mindfully place your bum back down on the ground. Move your feet over to one side and come onto your hands and knees from here. This time take your hands out outer shoulder distance apart. So that means that if you were to look at the outer edge of your shoulder, we want to draw an imaginary line to the middle of your wrist. Spread your fingers out and push down firmly into the palms of your hands until the index finger knuckle roots into the ground. Everyone, keeping your arms straight, inhale through your nose and expand through your upper back like a hot air balloon sort of rising in the sky. And as you exhale, take your upper back and draw it in until your shoulder blades come together like a sewing needle pushing into fabric. Keep your gaze down at your mat and now lift your knees away from the floor, keeping your knees bent and your bum piked high to the sky. Once again, like we did in that seated forward fold, push your hands flat into the floor and press forward with your hands to move your chest back to your bent knees. Again, you'll see here, if you gaze up towards the TV or the computer, that my knees are quite deeply bent and my sit bones are lifting up high enough that my lower back is drawing in. From here, release your head until the ears are slightly in line with the biceps and take a long breath in and a long breath out. Good. Keep your hands firmly rooted into the floor and now work towards straightening your legs. And if you find after straightening your legs that your lower back really rounds up or your shoulders have shifted further forward, then just come back to either a micro bend or a generous bend in the knees, just so we can sustain the sacrum as the highest point in the pose. Once again, inhale through your nose and exhale. Last one, inhale and exhale. Just notice how lovely this feels. Look up towards your hands and just nice and slowly start to walk your feet up between your hands to the top edge of your mat. Bend your knees once again in that generous way, and then bring your belly onto your thighs and hold onto either elbow. Completely hang your arms towards the ground and hang your head towards the ground. I'll show you what this looks like from the front. There aren't many times in our day where we fully let go of our head, so completely let go of the weight of your head. And if you're anything like me, sometimes that means you need a little shake of the head or a nod of the head just to really fully give it permission to release. The same way, shift your weight evenly into your feet. So you shift into the balls of your feet as much as your heels. And allow for gravity to do most of the work as you lean further down over your legs. Take another long breath in. And of course, followed by a long breath out. Keep your knees bent. Take your hands up onto your hips. Lift your shoulders up, lift your chin up, lead with the back of your head, and as you inhale, stand all the way up with a nice long spine the whole way. Once you come to a standing position, turn your palms forward and rest them down by your sides. Keep your feet rooted into the floor, connected to the earth, and we're going to move just from side to side. Something I'm really into right now is sort of this free, almost Kundalini-esque sort of arm swings. And you'll notice as I turn from side to side that my knees are bending with me, and that my shoulders, my ears are moving in this direction. You may hear little taps of your hands against your body. Let the arms come up as high as they'll go. There's not a lot of form or alignment needed here. Let's take another big breath. And then keep your gaze forward and start to slow the arms down. Keep the gaze in that semicircle in front of you until the arms become even slower, and then eventually stand still with your palms turned forward. Stack your ears over your shoulders, take a long breath in and a long breath out. Again, just continuing to own our breath so that nobody can steal our peace. And turn onto your mat, or step onto your mat so that you're standing as I am to the long edge of the mat. And then take your feet out a good few feet wider than your hips. Then turn your heels in and your toes out for one of my favorite postures, which I call the goddess groin stretch. Bend your knees quite deeply so that your knees come over your ankles, so you can look down to make sure you found that alignment, and then slide your hands down your legs until your elbows meet the inner edges of your knees, which may mean you hold to the mid-calf or you reach down and hold the ankles. Continue to press evenly into your feet so all four corners are connected to your mat, and now push your elbows back into your knees. And I'm feeling my groin, so as well. And keep your gaze just to the floor below your head, and breathe into your nose and breathe out. Resist tucking your tailbone. Keep your bum pressing back so that your lower back is drawing in, and actively push out to your knees or into the inner edges of the knees with your elbows. Good. Breathe in and breathe out. Another big breath in. Another big breath out. Good job. Now place your hands on the floor in front of you. You can moan or groan if you like. And then stretch your legs straight and turn your heels out. So now your feet are parallel to the short edges of your mat. If you tend to be tighter in your legs, I'll encourage you to go longer in your stance. And for those that are flexible, have your feet in nice as they were, narrower. Push down into your feet and now squeeze your legs towards each other until you feel the inner edges of your legs tone. And now fold at your hips and bring the crown of your head towards the floor. You can walk your hands back so that the wrists are in line with your heels. Shift your weight down evenly into your feet. So if you're anything like me, I lean a lot of weight into my heels. Just shift slightly forward into the balls of your feet and continue to lift up in your quadriceps as you find more depth through your spine. Inhale and exhale. Whether you have your eyes open, you're aware of your surroundings, or whether you have your eyes closed and sort of aware of the internal experience. May we come back to aligning with that sense of peace. Last breath, take a long inhale. And a long exhale. Keep your legs exceptionally strong, so pull the quadriceps up, keep pulling the legs towards each other, and then lift your head away from the floor and take your hands to your hips. And like we did in that standing variation, pull your shoulders on your back, lead with the back of your head, and as you inhale, stand all the way up. Oh, good. Bend your knees and either step or jump your feet back together. Oh, hello, little wiggle. Now we'll do the breath of joy. It's one of my favorite sort of active breathing techniques. And it's 3 big inhales with the arms sweeping forward, to the side, and forward. So 3 inhales. And then 1 big exhale. And as you exhale, I'll show you from the side, you're going to bend your knees deeply and sweep your arms back behind you. So, okay, so we'll do about 6 to 8 times. Okay, so stand with your feet evenly rooted. Take a cleansing breath. Big exhale. And then inhale, inhale, inhale. Bend the knees. Exhale. Two more. Good. Stay down, knees bent. Just dangle your arms, dangle your head. Take a long, steady breath into your nose and a long, steady breath out. Keep your head down and walk your hands forward and step your feet back once again into your downward facing dog. Continue to push into your hands. Shift the weight back into your legs. Relax your head between your arms. Enjoy this moment. Come down slowly onto your knees. Shift your weight over to the left and step your right foot forward between your hands. Make sure that your front knee is directly over your ankle and press down once again, as you've been hearing throughout the class. Press down evenly into your feet. So that includes the 4 points of the foot. You could think of it like the 4 tires of your car. As you keep that foundation in the front foot, shift your groins down until you feel a stretch on that back leg. And I find that if you point your back toes to the wall or the space behind you, that it will increase the stretch on the front side of that back leg. Keep your lower body as it is and just climb yourself up onto that front right thigh. Lengthen your tailbone down, pull your belly up, and shift your torso back until your shoulders are over your hips. And then reach your hands back behind you. Spread your fingers, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and lift long through the crown of your head. Inhale fully. And exhale. Take another big inhale. And as you exhale, release your hands down onto the floor. Tuck your back toes underneath and keep it pretty simple. Just step forward with your left foot and step back with your right leg. Again, a nice long step back as you place your right knee on the ground. Look that the knee is over the ankle and the foot is firmly on the floor. Point your back toes to the wall, sink your hips down and gather yourself up on your left thigh. Pull your belly back, take your tailbone down, take your hands by your side. Keep lifting up from your tailbone through the crown of your head, and as you exhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together and stretch long through your fingertips as if your arms were like your cape. Breathe in and breathe out. Another big breath in and out. Once again, place your hands on the floor, and this time step your right foot to the top of your mat. Look up halfway, lengthening your spine and moving your thighs evenly back. And then exhale, fold over your legs. Lead with the back of your head, and as you inhale, stand all the way up. Reach your hands to the sky. And as you exhale, slide your hands down in front of your chest. Take another big inhale, sweep your arms up over your head. Keep your legs straight and strong. And as you exhale, hinge forward from your hips and release your hands to your shins or touch for the floor. Inhale, lift your gaze, lengthen through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, fold once again into your Uttanasana, or standing forward fold. Inhale, step your right leg back into a long lunge. And as you exhale, lower your knee to the floor and point your toes. Inhale, lift your hips up as you lift your arms up as you sink your hips down. And then exhale, release your hands flat to the floor. Lift your back knee, inhale to your plank pose. Shift your weight forward till your shoulders come past your wrist. And as you exhale, lower in 1 unit to your belly. 3, 2, 1. Press the tops of your feet down, push your pubic bone down. Inhale, lift your chest forward and up. Keep length in your neck. Exhale, lower back to your belly. Tuck your toes. Option to use your knees by keeping them on the floor, or press straight up to your plank pose and pike the hips as you move back to your down dog. A full breath in and a full breath out. You can always modify the leg swing by lowering your knees to the floor. So either lower your right knee to the floor or lift that right leg up into the air. And as you exhale, wherever you are, step your right foot forward between your hands and lower your left knee down to the ground. Point your toes, and as you inhale, lift your arms up, sink your hips down. And as you exhale, release your hands lightly to the floor. Inhale, step forward to the front of your mat. As soon as you arrive, look up halfway, lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, fold once again over your thighs. Inhale, lead with the back of your head, stand all the way up, reach your hands to the beautiful sky. And exhale, slide your hands through to heart center. Pause, take a breath in. And a breath out. Inhale, reach your arms all the way out and up over your head. Lift and engage your quadriceps. Exhale, hinge forward over your strong legs. Touch your shins or touch the floor. Inhale, lift your gaze, lengthen your spine, look up halfway. Exhale, fold once again. Inhale, step your left leg back into that same long lunge, and as you exhale, lower your knee down, point your toes back. Inhale, sweep your arms up as your hips sink heavy. Exhale, touch your hands flat to the mat. Inhale, lift your back knee, step to your plank pose, shift forward and exhale slowly to your belly. 3, 2, 1. Point your toes, root your pubic bone. Inhale, lift forward and up with your chest for Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Exhale, lay flat on your belly. Tuck your toes, use your knees if you need to. Inhale, lift up to your plank. Exhale, back to your down dog. Hold here for a breath. So once again, you can lower to your knees or stretch your left leg up into the air. Please use the appropriate steps and then exhale. Everyone step that left foot forward between your hands and lower your knee to the floor. Point your toe. Inhale, reach your arms up as you sink your hips down. Exhale, touch your hands lightly to the mat. Inhale, step forward to the front of your mat. Look up halfway as soon as you arrive. And exhale, fold over your thighs. Inhale, stand all the way up, reach your hands to the ceiling, reach up to the sky. Exhale your hands through heart center. Pause and feel the peace that you are continuing to cultivate. And if you're not feeling very peaceful, then take a moment here to realign with that idea, with that concept, with that intention. Maybe that's choosing to let go of the attachment to a particular thought or problem. Or maybe that's just coming more fully with awareness into this moment, to the now. And release your hands by your side, and we'll move into another posture. So turn to face the long edge of your mat, and this time come down onto your knees. If you have any sensitivity on the kneecap itself, again, you can use that rolled up towel or blanket you had in the beginning for underneath the knee, or just simply take your mat and fold it off a few times. We're here using this beautiful saffron colored bee mat, one of our favorite yoga mats. And come up onto your knees here and take let's start with the left leg out to the left side. Now, start with your toes pointing down towards the floor in the same direction that your leg is. So they're going to point to the left. And it is important that that heel and the hip and then the hip and the opposite knee are all in the same sort of plane in line. Take your left arm down your left leg. And as you inhale, take your right hand just straight up over your right shoulder. As you exhale, bend that top elbow and place your hand on the back of your head. Good. Now lift from your right hip all the way up into the top elbow tip, like you're reaching that elbow to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, lean your head back into your hand and keep those actions as you sink further down the left side. You may get the hand to the floor, you may not. Continue with every action to lift from the right hip up through that top right elbow tip. You can even push the right hip more to the right. And then as you exhale, keeping long on the left side, lean further to the left. Even keep your head pressing back into your hand. Good. Inhale fully. And exhale fully. Keep your body in this shape, but now stretch that top arm straight and continue to stretch out through the top fingertips. Turn your chest further towards the sky. Oh, I have this beautiful sun sort of kissing down on my face. Maybe you do too, or maybe you're in your room or somewhere in your living room. Either way, just imagine the sun on your face, just how beautiful that is. Keep your legs strong and slowly release your right hand down just to the in front of you, below the right shoulder. Now lift your left toes up towards the ceiling and shift, pull that hip back into the hip socket and shift slightly to the left. Now keep your legs strong by working your toes and then stretch your arms out a little further in front of you. The arms here are the most important, so keep pulling your left heel back towards your left hip to increase the stretch. Relax your head between your arms, similar to the shape we did in the very beginning as we folded over our crossed legs. Inhale through your nose. Keep pulling that left heel back. You can use the hands to your advantage. Push the hands forward to pull the left heel back. Last breath. Good. Keep your legs strong as you walk your hands back through center. You can bend your left knee. And once again, sit up onto the knees. Good. Adjust your mat to serve you. If you had it folded on the other side, then you'll fold it on this side just to support maybe a tender knee. Come back up onto your knees, sitting nice and tall, and take your right leg out to the right side. Turn your toes down in the same direction to the right and square your hips forward, which is sort of challenging in itself. Big inhale through your nose, grow tall through your spine. And as you exhale, slide down that right leg just a little bit. Inhale, take your left arm up over your shoulder. And as you exhale, bend that left elbow and bring your hand to the back of your head. Inhale, once again, lift from that left hip all the way up into that top elbow tip. And as you exhale, push your head back into your hand and descend further down the right side. Really until you feel the stretch on the left, which a lot of times we don't need to go very far to feel it. Continue with the actions. Lift from the left hip up through the left elbow tip, and then exhale, descend down to the right side. If the hand touches the floor, it does, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. Breathe in, and breathe out. Keep pressing your head back, moving your chin out of your chest. Stay in this shape, and now take your left arm over your head so your bicep is framing your ear, and stretch from that fingertip stretch from the hip all the way out through all 5 fingertips. Curl your shoulder back and sort of offer your heart to the sky. Breathe in and breathe out. Again, feel the warmth of the sun on your face, whether it's there or not. As you inhale, just slightly shift your weight or the angle of your body and place your left hand down. Turn your right toes up towards the ceiling and start here by pulling your right heel back towards you. So it's an isometric dragging or an energetic pulling. And then reach your arms out in front of you, really till you feel that intense stretch in the groin, a bit of the hamstrings. And breathe as you pull that heel back. And again, pushing the hands forward will assist you in that action. Stay here mindfully, moment to moment awareness. Whether that's just noticing the breath or directing the breath. As you inhale, lift your head up, soften that right knee and come back to center. Just lay your mat flat if it's slightly folded up and take a child's pose here. You can have the knees together, the knees as wide apart as you'd like. Stretch your arms out in front of you and completely surrender your arms, elbows to the floor and your forehead to the mat. From your child's pose position, we're going to do one of my favorite pranayams. Okay, I'll be honest, I like it all. But this one's called Brahmari, or bee's breath. So the intention is to create a humming sound as we exhale. You could imagine like you're chanting the sound of Om with your mouth closed. So it'll be that last section. You inhale to just the natural length, create that humming sound as you exhale for the duration of your exhale, and then you just continue the cycle. You'll hear me here. And we're going to do this from our child's pose position. So start with the cleansing breath. Inhale through your nose. Nice big exhale. Keep your jaw relaxed and begin. Two more. Last one. Take a moment as you let go of the technique to just feel. Really, the stage of feeling is just as important and as valuable as the technique itself. Nice and slowly come down. You'll have your strap close by. We're going to come down and lie down on our bellies. Once you're down on your belly, just flip over onto your back and bend your knees and plant your feet on the floor. So they're around as best as you can. Little robot arm pointing to the ceiling. And one at a time, just pull your shoulder blades in closer together. Chest lifts away from the mat. Push down evenly into the soles of your feet. Push down into the back of your head and your shoulders. And use that connection to help you lift your hips up away from the floor. It should actually feel quite nice. If you find that your feet or your knees are aching you at all, just move your feet a little further away from you and continue to push down into the floor, especially into the shoulders, the back of your head. You're welcome to keep your hands in these robot position or this robot shape, or just take your hands under your back. Interlace your fingers together and continue to externally rotate your upper arm bones. So draw the outer edges of your arms towards the floor so you can get the chest even higher. If your hands are clasped, press the pinky finger edge of your hands into the floor. Keep pushing the back of your head into the ground so your chin moves away from your chest. Take a long breath in and a long breath out. And slowly release the clasp of your hands, pull your shoulders out from underneath you, and nice and mindfully lower your bum back down onto the ground. Sorry, I think that was my mic making a funny noise. Just move it to the side here. This figure four-like position, so again, your right ankle's on top of your left thigh. Just reach your hands between your legs and grab onto the back of your left thigh. Keep your right foot working strong, so it's in a dorsiflexion. Your toes are pulling towards your knee. And as you move your legs in closer towards your chest, press gently that right knee away from you. Whether it's just an energetic or a mindful pressing away, or it's a rooting of that elbow into the knee. But breathe skillfully, whether that's just keeping an awareness of the breath or directing the breath. One more here. And keep your legs in this figure four-like position, but lower your left foot to the ground. So again, stay in this figure four-like position. Take your arms out to a T on the floor. And now lower your legs to the right. So that means the right knee will fall towards the floor, carrying the left knee with it. Yeah. Be mindful that we're not hurting your knee at all, so no sharp burning or electrical sensations in the knees. Keep both of the feet active by pulling all 10 of your toes up towards either knee, and encourage that left knee towards the ground by pressing your ankle into the thigh. Keep your head neutral, gazing towards the sky, or turn your head to the left, so the opposite direction as the knees are falling. Again, hold here with your breath. Just slowing everything down in a way in which we can slow the thoughts down and the mind down is just to bring the attention to the breath. It sounds so simple, but yet it can be so challenging. So as you inhale, just say quietly to yourself, "This is my in-breath." And as you exhale, say quietly to yourself, "This is my out-breath." It'll keep you here in the present moment. And the simple connection to the breath will help slow what can be a hectic and overwhelming mind, or as the yogis would call a monkey mind. And keep your legs in this position, and first turn your head back to center, and then either release the right foot to the floor and bring the knees up, or bring the knees up and to the floor. Great. You may need to adjust your hips back to center, adjust the shoulders as you'd like. We'll come back into Sukhi-Andrasana, or eye of the needle pose. So make that figure 4 position by placing your left ankle on the upper thigh of your right leg. Pull your legs in towards your chest and interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. Gather your legs, pull them in closer towards your chest, and then move either energetically or with the left elbow, your left knee away from you. Be mindful to activate your legs or your feet by pulling all 10 of your toes up towards your knees. That will stabilize the lower leg and keep the knee safe, so the stretch can be in the hip where we want it to be. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And just staying here, holding the pose as you breathe deeply and consciously, all with the intention of cultivating peace. Almost reclaiming the captain's seat for the feelings in our lives. Once again, keep your legs in this figure 4-like position, but very gently release your right foot down to the ground. Take your arms out to a T position. Again, keep your legs in this figure 4 as you lower your knees to the left. Keep your legs in that dorsiflexion active as you encourage the right knee towards the ground by pressing your left ankle into that right knee. Keep your head gazing to the ceiling or look over the right side. And hold here with your breath. Last breath in this position. And first, look back towards the sky or the ceiling. Either place the left foot down and lift the knees, or lift the knees and then place the foot down. This time, bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall open. It should feel quite nice. I'll encourage you to keep your arms out wide here at this time. This sort of heart opening. And let go of any effort, any need to push down deeper or harder, and just let gravity do the work as it naturally opens through your chest and your groins. Take a moment here to contemplate all the things in your life that you're grateful for. And I don't just mean personal possessions, but the people in your life that support you, the experiences in your life that have really helped you in growing, and being the person that you are today. And may you just swell with that sense of gratitude. For the struggles and the successes. And truly knowing that this was enough. Lingering in that place of satisfaction, place of sufficiency. Just close your knees together like a book and take your feet out wider than your hips as you lay your legs straight on the ground for our final resting pose, Shavasana. And rest here for a minimum of 2 to 3 minutes. If you can stay for 5 to 10, even better. I'll remind you that Shavasana is a pose itself. Even though we can on occasion fall asleep, it's meant to be more of a conscious relaxation. So may you feel the moment. Maybe you're like me and you're outside feeling the warm breeze against your skin. Or maybe you're inside, just feeling the warmth of the room. Don't change the breath, just notice the breath. Notice the depth of the breath, the rhythm of the breath, the sound of the breath. Let your eyes get heavy until you feel the eyeballs themselves sink heavier into the sockets. And notice here the space between your eyelids. So it's not your upper lid, and it's not your lower lid, but just notice the space between your eyelids as you relax. Keep your attention just lovingly here between the eyelids, fully giving yourself permission to relax even further into the peace that always resides within us. And I'll leave you here to continue to settle and rest on your own. May you own your breath so that nobody can steal your peace. Thanks for chiming in with me. Namaste.